let's get down to what are the 3 top reasons people don't trust their intuition. And I've been working with people truly all my life and truly all around the world. And I watch and listen and I coach and I counsel and I teach and I observe over and over and over again. The first reason people don't trust their intuition is because they have no modeling that says that's okay. We have been given the Kool-Aid, drink the Kool-Aid that says you have to shop around and find an authority who knows more than you, who's smarter than you, who has the power and the ability to run your life because you don't. Now, perhaps between the ages of 0 and 18, that was sort of good idea. Maybe we stopped around 12 to look to others, to learn, to find guidance, but to just be blindly fed and the poison Kool-Aid that says, Father knows best, which is really the patriarchal model, and you better be quiet and shove your own feelings and do what I say. It's like we've been indoctrinated to abandon ourselves. So I have to ask you, how's that working out? It's like we feel like we're going to be in trouble if we actually be so bold as to trust our own intuition. It's like, who gave you permission? So here's the big secret for reason number 1. The permission comes from you and nobody's going to give it to you. And this takes us to reason number 2. Reason number 2 is this. Intuition is truth serum. It actually asks you to be honest. And if you aren't honest and you want to live an alternative reality that denies what you feel because you prefer that, then intuition isn't going to be that welcome. It's like, I'd read for people who come to me and say, whatever you do, don't give me bad news. It's like, well, what's bad news? If you're on the Titanic, you don't want me to tell you before you board the ship? What's bad news? You'd rather dance with the party and have champagne while the ship goes down? I mean, let's reframe this. So I got to tell you, you have to be honest. And we're not used to that because we're given the information to be dishonest, to not listen to ourselves, to ignore who we are, to ignore what our inner self is telling us, and to portray ourselves to get approval from around us. So, number 2, you have to be honest, which means don't feed yourself the Kool-Aid that someone else has fed you that says, ignore yourself, believe this is a good relationship, when everything in you is saying it's not, or this is the work path that I need to go on, when every part of your body is cringing because you're going to a job you hate, or you're listening to somebody feeding you a line of BS and every smoke alarm in you is going, liar, liar, pants on fire, when in truth, when in fact, your inner self is trying to protect you. So getting honest is probably the second biggest thing. We have to practice getting honest by actually asking ourselves in our heart, what am I denying? What am I afraid to hear? What am I not listening to? Which brings us to the third reason we don't listen to our intuition. The third reason is that intuition is very often a huge disruptor. It says, the path you're on, you have to change. The relationship you're in isn't so good. The investment you made energetically or creatively or financially isn't going to work out. So it means we have to make a different decision. That's what it's trying to advise us to do. Make a different decision that'll take care of you. But we get so invested on the path we're on, it's like, well, no, I already boarded the Titanic, so I'm hanging in here because I paid my ticket. And it's like, hello, let's get off. And, we talk about we doubt ourselves. So the reason we doubt ourselves is we've not been practiced in actually respecting ourselves. We've not been practiced. We don't have a lot of practice, and we've been trained to ask others permission. So I would say, and you know what? I don't think the world is negative. I think that what's negative is everybody's agreeing to the same culture conspiracy, which is don't listen to your vibes. That's how you have to do things. When you do listen to your vibes, when you do trust yourself, when you do take responsibility and say, I'm going for this only for one reason, it works for me, guess what? The negative experience stops and the good energy starts to happen. So it's only negative when we're on the wrong train, when we're subscribing to things and doing things that don't honor what our inner self tells us, when we're not being honest and we're it's like trying to wear a pair of shoes that don't fit or like a stiff coat. It's like I'm in a costume. This isn't who I really am. Things change quickly when you make the decision that my intuition is exactly what I was given to lead my life, be the leader of my life. So I'm not a lamb chop going to the slaughter and being led by the nose to betray myself. And yeah, it disrupts things, but please, dear God, disrupt things, because the life I'm in, based on all these decisions that don't reflect who I am, is so wrong. It is so wrong that if it doesn't disrupt me, I'm going down. And the one thing is, it'll waste your time to stay on the wrong path. And that's the thing you can't get back, honestly. And so we have to make a couple of new decisions. The first is, intuition is natural. Everybody has it. And if you don't believe that, you're so in last century. Science has already validated. We have a sixth sense, and it's in our heart, it's in our gut, it's in our cells. I think it's in every part of us. Secondly, I lead my life. I give myself permission. Nobody else is going to get it. I give myself permission. And yet, sometimes we have to change the dynamics of the company we keep. Absolutely true. Sometimes, if we're going to live an authentic life, we have to get off the group experience of saying, well, I'll be with you guys living the inauthentic life, so I belong to this inauthentic community. It doesn't feel good. So for a moment or a short while, you might have to be sort of like the farmer in the dell and the cheese stands alone. Believe me, I've stood alone plenty, but it doesn't last. Because when you're authentic and you're aligned and honoring your vibes, you have good energy and you attract energy that matches that authentic self immediately. It's good. It is so good. That segue out of authentic and into, inauthentic and into alignment with yourself, that segue. You have to stand alone, but it doesn't mean you'll be abandoned or lonely. It means you have to be with yourself and like yourself. So it's a little uncomfortable, but it's not dangerous. It's just an adjustment. I kind of see coming back to your intuition is coming back to yourself. It's like a grand chiropractic adjustment. If you need a little coaching, if you need a little reassurance, you need a little guidance, do subscribe to the channel. Read my books, Trust Your Vibes, maybe The Psychic Pathway. They're excellent, excellent guides for you. And they'll give you the confidence and the reassurance and the instruction that makes it easy and natural to always trust your vibes. Always. So, these 3 reasons that you've been living, they don't bring you any joy. To abandon yourself or give you permission to live your life into the hands of someone else, it's like, would you give them your wallet and your car keys? Of course not. Would you give them the keys to your house and say, you come in and do whatever you want? But when we give permission for others to set our values and to give us the energy to give us the power to make decisions for us, we are betraying ourselves, and it'll never feel right. Never, never, never. Don't be afraid to give yourself permission and take responsibility for leading your life. Doesn't mean you won't make mistakes, but it does mean that what you learn will make your life work instead of just have the mistake after mistake and no reward. Intuition is there. It's a natural part of you. It's there for you to listen to follow, to trust. to honor. It's truth serum. It's becoming your own best friend. You'll never regret that. You'll never, 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 never regret that. So that's just a little pop in I felt like I want to share today with everybody. Again, subscribe to my channel so that we can have more conversations like this, because it's my favorite thing to do, and it will become your favorite thing to do. Trusting your vibes. Okay, thanks for popping in. It's been a pleasure. I send you all my love, and I'll be back again soon.